a couple of exciting topics. We're gonna talk about the crazy low interest crypto is experiencing at the moment. Fabio brought a lot of charts, brought a lot of things, and we're actually gonna go through those. We're gonna cover a little bit of the rumors around Huobi, about Tether. Maybe is there some validity to those speculations that there are issues there, and what this could always mean. We're always trying to stay very careful not to kind of talk bad about any competitor, but obviously we would love to kind of elaborate a little bit on this. We're going to talk about an H2 second half of the year forecast, what to expect. Are we going to see the same kind of nonchalant move going forward? We're going to cover a couple of updates on Bake. We went live with a new token, dollar cost averaging, events that we're organizing and meetups, and much, much more. So with this, dive in, and enjoy the show. Fabio, how you doing? What's happening in the crypto verse on social media?
Hey everybody, good to be back. There's actually, you already summed up every major thing that is currently happening, but it's like one of the main things, and we are going to double down on that when we are taking a look at the charts. But with we are currently at a record low in volatility, meaning the price is going nowhere. There is very little volume, and with little volume and with little price action, there's also very little engagement and very little happening on community channels or on social media in general. It's kind of boring, but usually these periods of low volatility, they kind of end in violent moves. So I'm kind of expecting something to happen soonish, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month. But volatility and engagements are very, very low, and usually they don't stay like that for a long time. So personally, of course, if you are tuning in on YouTube, I just want to say I fixed my mic.
What happened? Explain it to us. What was the elaborate, complicated? Who was the mechanical audio engineer that had to come over and take the microphone apart, fix everything? Explain us the elaborate kind of move that you had to do in order to get this crisp audio.
So I've been using the same mic for, I think, 18 months or so. Never had an issue. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to install this fancy microphone arm. I spent a lot of money on that. And it has it takes out statics and it takes out bumps. So and so on. Since I installed that thing, the audio was just terrible. And it wasn't working at all. So I switched the adapter. I bought a fancy adapter from Apple for a lot of money. Didn't fix the issue. So I went and I bought a gold-plated USB-C cable. and because this might have been an issue, I installed a crazy amount of software and drivers. I downloaded the original software and things. And it just couldn't fix it. It was just, you've been there. I got every single time I got the feedback that my audio is terrible. So at one point, I was just Googling and scanning through links. And then on Reddit, I saw a post where somebody with the exact same mic as me, he posted and he said he just is unable to fix his audio. And then the top upvoted comment was, did you try to turn the mic around 180 degrees? And I was like, come on. So I did. I turned my mic around and wow, it just works. So it happens to be that some microphones, they're called directional microphones. And there is you're only allowed to speak in on one side of that mic. If you speak in from the bottom or from the side or from the back of that mic, the quality sounds like you're in a bathroom. So guess what? I turned the mic around 180 degrees and here we are. Everything's working again. My God, I learned something new.
Snoop just called you a noob.
Yeah.
When Fabio shared that story with me, I had to laugh. Yeah, so well. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, Hans agrees. Absolutely hilarious. Totally agree.
And there were only I got so frustrated because I'm pretty good with this stuff. I'm just Googling things, I experiment, I try to find a solution, I order some hardware, I download some software, and I couldn't get this fixed for months. And but everything's fine now. So Where
Cool.
do we start
Yeah,
this
your
off?
audio is great. I don't know. Let's start a bit with what's happening in the markets right now. Why is it so calm? Why is it so quiet? I don't know. You brought, so I have four charts. So I have a chart that these are all charts that you gave me. One is a price chart comparison from 2015, 2019 to what we're seeing right now. One is the annualized realized volatility. That's basically at the low of 2017. And I have the long-term hodler net position change. And then I have that change about the delinquency rates on credit cards. So those four charts, you gave them to me up front. I have them ready. Let me know which one you want to see first.
The bad quality one with the two white arrows. I screenshotted that of a YouTube video. That's why the quality is not that great. But so what this chart shows is basically the price action since 2017-ish until today. And there's two white arrows. One, we are seeing that in 2019, Q3 2019, and the Bitcoin price consolidated right above the 21 EMA. Which we are consolidating right now as well. And we are in Q3 as well. And back then, we also had this period of extreme low volatility and basically sideways price action for a few weeks, exactly like we have it right now. And this price chart doesn't go back to 2015 and 2011. But in both of these years, we had exactly the same situation. In Q3, pre-halvening year, pre-election year, because both pre-halvening coincides with pre-election. So in Q3, pre-halvening year, pre-election year, we always consolidate on the 21 EMA. We get this period of extreme, not extreme, but very low volatility, and then we break down. It used to be that way in every other cycle before. So I understand, not everybody believes in cycle theory, and I understand that historical price action doesn't mean it needs to be the same in the future. But I'm just pointing out this happened a few times. And also, fun fact, most altcoins bottomed out on their Bitcoin pairs with the capitulation that happened in Q3 pre-halvening years. Yes, there was another drop, for example, the COVID lows that we saw in 2020, but most altcoins and most price action bottomed out in Q3 pre-halving year. So just something interesting to point out. What do you think about that astrology chart, Julian?
Yeah. Let me know, by the way, if my audio is now leveled a bit to Fabio's. The feedback was that my audio is a bit too loud. Maybe it's a bit better now in comparison to Fabio's. So maybe I need to make Fabio's a bit louder. I don't know. But I tried to level it. Yeah, again, I think cycles are. I mean, look, on the one hand, if I ask people and I say, hey, do you agree that past performance doesn't promise future performance, and everyone nods like, of course past returns don't promise future returns. But then, yeah, as soon as it comes to cycle theory and all this, suddenly I go, of course, but these cycles exist, right? So but this is nothing else than basically past performance promising future performance. To me, I'm super dubious about the cycle theory in general. I do think that there's a lot of self-fulfilling prophecy by people. However, it's going to depend a lot on the outside forces. And I think that's going to be way more important. So if we're not going to see much over the next 6 to 12 months, then I do think we're going to see a little bit of the cycle playing out just because there's very little outside force. If we have a Bitcoin spot ETF approved, obviously that's going to make it very bullish and people are going to say, oh, look at the cycle. The cycle is working. If we see a complete pullback in all the markets, a recession hitting in, people losing their homes, people really struggling paying back their student loans, credit card debt, they all lose their jobs left and right. I just don't see how people are going to ape into crypto. I think they're going to ape into actual food and actual stuff that they need for their daily kind of living. So, and then the cycle is not going to work out. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that's the key thing in my opinion. Yeah.
Maybe we can also show the volatility chart from Glassnode, where you can see that the volatility currently is hitting new lows. Yeah, so the orange graph for everybody that is on Twitter. Sorry, I'm just trying to explain what we are seeing on screen on our YouTube live. Is we have an orange graph that illustrates the liquidity or the volatility, how much volatility that we're seeing, and we are currently at the lowest level since 2017. And usually that's also past performance. Doesn't need to be an indicator for future performance, but usually after these low volatility periods, we kind of have a breakout in either one direction. And I would, with the charts that we saw previous to that one, my assumption would be that the move is probably going to be to the downside. And as Julian pointed out, we probably are looking at two events that are major in August. So we're looking at, I don't know if we have a photo or an image for that, the ETF decision on 13th of August, which I think ARK has dips. So they're first in line. And then also what could be kind of interesting is, I think, August 22nd, when we have the BRICS summit. So the BRICS nations are getting together. And of course, it wouldn't be a Twitter space without a conspiracy theory. And the conspiracy theory here is that they are going to announce a gold-backed currency or somewhat in that direction. Some people, of course, also say they're going to go with crypto. But I would give both of them a low probability. The gold one a lot higher than a Bitcoin or crypto basket or the crypto-backed currency. But it's definitely going to be a big event. Do you have any theories or any insights on the BRIC summit?
No, I think that's, to me, that entire thing about BRICS going against the US dollar. Sure, I mean, that's something that we're going to see more and more, but I don't know. At the moment, the US is just so strong in comparison to everyone else. I mentioned this so much on Twitter. The US, basically, the US military is backing the US dollar. That's just how it is. And I don't see how this is going to change in the next, I don't know, 12 months. 24 months. I'm not talking here about the next 10, 20 years. This is a different story, but over the next 1 or 2 years, I just don't see how this changes much. Yeah. Just because the US military is way too strong.
I'm not 100% sure which other two charts we got. I think there is...
So one is this one. This is the net hodler change.
Oh, yeah. So if we want to also touch on some bullish news or bullish stuff, we are showing a chart on screen right now. It's the long-term net position change, and it basically indicates if long-term hodlers, so people that have been here for a year, 2 or 3 or many, are buying or are selling. And the indication here is clearly that there is still a strong accumulation from existing Bitcoiners. So we're still in the green. There's still accumulation happening, even at the current price levels, which of course is bullish. What we can see, and we didn't bring a chart for this, is if you look at the classic metrics to see if there is a new influx of people, you would probably look at Google Trend for Bitcoin or for crypto, or you would look at Coinbase app downloads or maybe another like Binance app downloads or Kraken app downloads, and these don't really show any major uptick. So we are not really getting in new people. Usually, at least in previous cycles, this happened with an increase in price. There was also an increase in new people joining our industry and buying for the first time. And maybe we can, so we had 3 crypto-specific charts, and we also have one that kind of goes into the more macroeconomic general markets. Because last week, Julian and me, we were talking about, is there a recession maybe on the horizon? And so what kind of things would you look at that could indicate that a recession may or may not come? So we saw, for example, a big drawdown in Apple. Like if you look at the chart, you might think, okay, that's just a little bit, but they're a 3 trillion market cap company, and a small decrease in Apple stock is, a lot of... It's massive. And the chart that we're looking here is default rate on car loans and credit card loans, only credit card loans, sorry. But there's a really, really high default rate right now, the highest it has been since 1991. And that's, of course, the Fed hiked rates. And with those rates, mortgage rates and credit card rates, they also get increased. And we see a lot of people not able to pay back their loans. And another indicator, for example, could be something to look at. So a lot of people, when you look at the Google Trends for recession, usually every recession peaks in a double peak. So you have the first Google search term when the yield curve inverts, which we had last year. A lot of people were Googling the recession. A lot of people were talking about the recession. Then you have a period of 6 to 18 months where nobody's Googling a recession, where nobody's talking about the recession. And the moment the yield curve inverts, so goes back to normal, we actually see the recession playing out. At least this was the case for the last few times. And my personal opinion or my personal assessment is we could look at something very similar right now. That would put us probably around Q4, Q1 next year. Q4 this year, Q1 next year. And a good play, Julian and me had just a brief back and forth. A good play for a recession could be utilities or consumer staples, like companies, stuff that you were going to buy anyway, like toothpaste, like food, and so on. And I don't know, what is your takeaway from this chart, Julian?
I mean, no surprise there. I mentioned this so many times that over the last 3.5 years, I don't think we have seen a normal stock market play out. I think we just haven't seen it over the last 3.5 years. I think the last time we had a normal stock market was probably end of 2019, and then we can also all agree that maybe during that time we had massive price manipulation because there was a lot of money printing going on even at that point. Then obviously we had COVID. Everyone was kind of their peak net worth end of 2021, which was ridiculous considering that this was kind of everything was kind of in lockdowns, like just opening up everything. And then we had this massive crash 2022, and now there was this counterbalance in 2023. And I just think over the last 3.5 years, we haven't seen a normal kind of market. So I don't know. I think everything is very sick. Everything is not doing well, and people are just kind of lying to themselves a bit. I hope we see a soft landing. I really hope. And I do think there's a fair chance that we're going to see a soft landing. But I think we all need to be prepared of having a hard landing. And a hard landing is going to be quite tough, I think, for a lot of people, because a lot of people have just been getting by. Prices have been shooting up left and right. People are really struggling. And yeah, I think a lot of people are just kind of expecting that, we're going to see all-time highs soon. I mean, there was just this bet on the Bitcoin price that we're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin price. Adam Beck made that bet for $1 million that we're going to see 100,000 by March, April next year. And he's betting over $1 million. I don't know. To me, and a lot of people, I think, I don't know. I'm not sure how much people actually believe this stuff, right? Or how much it is him just engagement farming. But to me, that's just very unlikely. So it doesn't mean that I'm bearish on Bitcoin. It means more, I just don't think we're going to see a $100,000 price. I think these are two different things.
It would be very uncommon. It would be the first time that we see a new all-time high pre-halvening. So I don't really get why he would say that. Also with maybe or maybe not recession on the horizon. Historically, I like to look at probabilities, and historically, always the Fed always anticipates a soft landing, and usually they're very bad on executing on one. And I just asked myself the question: so if for a normal recession, the probabilities for a soft landing are very low. And now we go into the most craziest and fastest and most aggressive hiking cycle ever recorded. How can you anticipate a soft landing? That's a bit, of course, it is always possible, but I would put the probabilities on a soft landing even lower than usual. And if you just compare, if you look at the last 100 years, they were not that great in executing on soft landings. But it's impossible.
What do you think about the second half of the year? We have a couple of things on the horizon. We have a potential Bitcoin spot ETF. We have an Ethereum futures ETF. We have obviously Mt. Gox unlocking potentially. We have, what are other things that we already know we're going to have? Digital currency group, that things seems to be working its way out or working not out. Any other? Obviously, we have 3 more Fed meetings: September, November, December. At the moment, the odds of any kind of further rate increase have actually dropped below 50%. So majority believes no further rate increases. Obviously, we have Ukraine, where now there's discussions that there's going to be some peace talks maybe in September. Let's see. I don't know if what are the known knowns. I'm not talking about the unknowns, but what do we know that are things on the horizon? Anything else I'm missing on this? Obviously, the
So
entire discussion around the recession, what kind of lending? Anything else?
until now, of course, you can only look at the data backwards looking, but until now, all the indications like the job markets, the inflation that is coming down, earnings, everything seems to be looking okay-ish. It's not that there is. If you look at the data, there is not this big black cloud above us, but knowns for this for the coming 6 months, it's really hard to say. For me, is almost everything is an unknown. I wouldn't know what I would consider a known fact for the coming 6 months. I just don't know.
Yeah. Do you think so? So, what do you think? How is the next 6 months going to look like for crypto?
I anticipate the downturn, and I think the downturn might happen sooner than most people think. So, pointing at the first chart we were looking at, we are consolidating on the 21 moving average, and historically Q3 pre-halving year we saw a bit of a downturn, and I could also foresee us actually entering a recession in Q4 or in Q1 next year. So both for general markets, for stocks, for equities, and for crypto, probably that we are going to see a bit of a downturn. I'm not expecting lower lows. I'm not expecting us to go below 15.7 that we saw in 2022. But definitely maybe retest the areas around 20,000. But just to put this in perspective, I'm actually extremely bullish both on equities and on crypto and on Bitcoin. It's just the time frame. So normally we are entering an extremely bullish period around 6 months, 4 to 6 months after the halving. So we are looking at the halving next April, and I'm extremely bullish for the end of next year. It's just that the period in between, there's so many things that we just don't know how they play out. So I'm trying to manage my expectation, trying to play it safe. Dollar cost average, buy and hold, no crazy things, and keeping a bit of liquid capital on the sidelines, just in case if we see a drop that I can double down into my DCA positions. That's I like to play things cautiously. I'm not going to use any leverage. I'm not going to overexpose myself. So I don't know. I think we are very much aligned here, Julian. Or you're also playing it kind of safe, no?
Yeah, 100%. I played very diversified, like to, I don't know, have exposure on a lot of things right now. I dollar cost average into crypto right now, dollar cost average into DFI, into Ethereum, into Bitcoin. I don't know, but not trying to kind of be all too crazy. Yeah. How do you see the entire kind of story at the moment with PayPal coming out, launching a stablecoin on Ethereum?
So for me, it's kind of bullish because PayPal is a big player. Like I know a lot of crypto people don't like PayPal, but I can, for example, the boomer generation, which my mother and her friends, they all use PayPal. Like I don't really know why, but that's their, I don't know, somewhat of a neobank. And it's if you use international payments and you have friends all around the globe that are not into crypto, a lot of them use PayPal. And also, like if you're a content creator, for example, if you use Fiverr, or if you use if you're a content creator on YouTube and you're making deals with sponsors and so on, a lot of people like to use PayPal. So and they kind of had this anti-crypto stance that they completely did a 180 on. So they are venturing into crypto. They're offering their own stablecoins. They're trying to get their hands into the industry and moving into another direction. Their stock suffered immensely. Like they had a big correction. The stock is really down a lot. So I think currently PayPal could be something very, very interesting. I know there are many people that pointed out, okay, there is a potential that they can freeze your funds and that they can claim your funds. I know.
They had this weird function called tummy ache. I don't know if you've seen this. For some, and no one really, at least I didn't find a good explanation on what this function actually does with tummy ache. Like, give someone a tummy ache, and then if someone has a tummy ache, there's actually a consequence to that. It was so weird. Yeah.
I'm hearing this for the first time,
Okay.
but you're not using PayPal as a decentralized service. You're using PayPal as a custodial service, and with every custodial service, there is potential, to for freezing of funds if you're involved with everything illegal. But like the question that I asked myself, um, PayPal doesn't freeze your funds without any reason to it. So if you're doing legit business online, if you're hiring somebody on Fiverr, or if you are a content creator and you're doing business on PayPal, there's nothing to worry about, at least in my
I mean,
opinion. So,
I lost my PayPal account just because I'm in crypto. I didn't even do anything with it, and they just closed my account because my KYC showed up that I'm, yeah, some, I don't know, CEO in crypto, and yeah, lost my PayPal account. So yeah, there's some. I mean, but again, I have no issue with that. I know how tricky this can be. So I mean, it pissed me off, sure, but yeah, it's how it is. Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those things that you mentioned there. I think it's super bullish for crypto. I think it's obviously a good move in the right direction. A lot of people are saying that this is a move by Paxos, kind of first shutting down Binance and now doing something with PayPal. I don't think that's the case. I think Binance kind of had these issues, and then Paxos was just looking for other partners, and PayPal just came up. So yeah, to me, it's bullish. What do you think at the moment around all these rumors on Huobi not being solvent, Binance kind of getting dragged into this, Tether not being able to redeem? I don't know. I don't know how much you've been following this, but obviously the rumor mill is super strong on this. Justin Sun comes out and tries to kind of appease everyone. How do you see this?
yeah. So one or two thoughts. If we saw these kind of rumors plenty of time for different platforms, regarding Coinbase, regarding Binance, FTX. Sometimes they were true. For example, in FTX case, or in Celsius's case. Other times they were not true, like in Coinbase's case. I saw a few threads, and of course, if you read the thread, everything is super logical, and you think, oh my God, there is really something happening here. So personally, if I read something like that and I would have funds on Huobi, I probably would not take any risks, because there is not a lot of work in just withdrawing to cold storage, or putting him over to another platform. So, if you have funds on Huobi, you might want to consider moving them over to Cake, because here you can get some cash flow on it, and you have proof of reserves. You can verify that everything's there, and so on, just to advertise this slightly here. But like, I'm not taking any risk. I'm approaching, if there are legit rumors and a lot of talk about an exchange maybe or maybe not having some issues, I don't want to take any risks. How much validity do I put into that? It's so hard to judge, because and the thing from Justin Sun, the only thing, like, he has a new product that is called USDT staking. Like, I think it's nice. It's a nice product, but the naming is very confusing, because it's just utilizing treasuries. So he's basically taking your USDT, converting it into fiat, and then buying treasuries and paying you the yield from a treasury. So yeah, it's kind of a treasury product for crypto people, I guess. Yeah, but other than that, I don't have any insights, and I also don't know really what to believe. I'm not sure. You're always much more into these things than I
Yeah,
am.
but I mean, yeah, but again, I think it's for everyone at the moment. It's just more rumor mill than most things. I mean, if we had facts, then it's just a lot easier, or it would be easy to make a decision on this. I think there's just one thing that I just always think is very important when the underlying facts point in a certain direction. Not that these facts make it clear for a certain verdict, but they point in a certain direction. You need to give this some credibility. And that's why I think, in general, if the facts point in a direction that on a platform funds may not be there, I would just always be very cautious as a user. So, yeah, just want to be very clear on that. That has nothing to do with it. I'm trying to say that the funds at Huobi are not there. I don't know. But there's a lot of outflow, there's a lot of things that are not clear, then why take the risk? So yeah. And Tether, I mean, look here, facts on Tether. I mentioned this a couple of times here already. We do have a principal account with Circle. So on Circle, the Cake group can redeem and can mint, or I mean, minting is always done by Circle, but we can redeem USDC and we can mint, we can ask for it to be minted. On Tether, we tried to get a principal account and we didn't. And there's no good reason on why we didn't get that. I don't understand. So there's a lot of people that are saying that Tether doesn't allow anyone to mint or redeem. I cannot verify that. I can just say I don't understand why we didn't get it. And I've not met anyone who actually has a principal account on Tether. So yeah. To me, I mentioned this a couple of times, something that's iffy with me and Tether. There's probably two things that I find a bit weird. The first one, that they claim they cannot get audited. To me, that's a bit strange. We are audited. They should be able to get audited as well. The second thing, the way the propaganda machine around Tether works is very dubious for me. Make a tweet around Tether and then look at the replies. They're just so weird. There's something so weird about it. Let me pull up my tweet here. That let me just look for it. And I don't know. It's I need to yeah, not so easy to.
I know that while you are looking to find the tweet, I know that a lot of people hold stablecoins for tax reasons. But maybe you can give me a reason or two. But if I need to decide what to hold, and I need to decide between a stablecoin and the real US dollar, I prefer the real US dollar. I kind of prefer an insured bank account and hold my fiat there. Like everybody here in crypto, we are not the biggest fiat fans, but if it is up to me, I rather prefer to hold the actual asset than a stable coin. But maybe that's just me. I know that a lot of people are holding stable coins because of tax reasons. Like for example, in Austria, Tether is, I think, considered crypto, and as long as you are not cashing it out in fiat, you are not paying any taxes on it. That's at least what I know. I think there are many other countries like that out there.
Yeah, here, let me. I know it's. Yeah, I don't know. This is just weird. So this is my account. I tweeted this. And my tweet here was, gotta admit, Tether will go down as one of the best businesses in the world or the biggest scam. There's no in between. If all their numbers are true, so this is obviously a typo. If all their numbers are true, they basically made $1 billion in profit with zero risk and very little overhead. As lean and efficient of a business as you can be. This will work until the regulatory arbitrage of stablecoins not being considered e-money anymore gets closed. Great. And then there's some very normal ones, where, like, I don't know, people either call me an idiot or they just whatever. But then there's just some really weird stuff. And even Twitter then recognizes that these accounts are weird, right? Because it goes under more replies. And normally Twitter puts these things under more replies if these accounts are a bit weird. And look, I mean, who answers this way? As market fluctuations affect various assets, Tether's steadfastness stands out as a beacon of reliability and dependability. Tether's ability to maintain its stability in an ever-changing market is a testament to its strong foundations and unwavering commitment to excellence. What the F? Like, I don't know. Who writes this way? You know what I mean? I don't know.
There's definitely some bots in there. My God.
Yeah, but like, why? Why? I can confirm that Tether is not a scam and that the claims made about it are false because I've been using Tether for a long time. Dude, what does this have to do with it? It generally comes from contenders of Tether and individuals who haven't done their own research on Tether. What? I don't know. This is the stuff, Tether won't go down. It's not the biggest scam. It's the best stablecoin we have seen since 2014. Tether's proven stability during periods of extreme market volatility showcases its effectiveness as a risk hedge, refuting claims of an impending collapse during economic uncertainties. Who writes this stuff? Like, I don't know. And then you click on Bob, and I don't know. These accounts are just so freaking weird. I don't know. Like, and then suddenly you have all this Russian stuff here. Who does this? It's just so weird. And then, like, yeah, these accounts are just, I don't know. It's just something that's so weird about it. So, and obviously, those two things, they're making me so suspicious about it. Those two things, not getting an audit, and then having this weird bot propaganda. If you're someone who, like, why does Circle not have that? Why does Circle not have that? Why does Circle not have this propaganda machine? Why? And so it's, why can you not find a single entity that can mint and redeem? These are just things, like, I get it. Like, yeah, these are just things. Again, I don't think, like, what people are saying, that Tether is going to be bankrupt and it's going to shut down tomorrow. I think that's also bullshit. But yeah, this is just the stuff that makes me a bit suspicious.
I've actually never tweeted about Tether. It's the first time that I'm seeing this. I also never clicked on more reply.
I have this all the time when I tweet about Tether. Like this weird, like, not like, these are not like the clear spam stuff, right? It was like, oh, invest in this, like, get rich quick with this, right? But these are clearly not human, like, normal human replies. Like, it's so weird, right? I don't know. So that's just the stuff that's just strange. I don't know. Yeah.
We want to finish off with Bake.
Yeah, let's finish with three things on the group side of things. First and foremost, a new staking coin went live. Do you want to announce it? Share a bit about
it. First of all, of course, I pinned the tweet here in the Twitter space, and you can also see it, of course, on our homepage. We listed Polkadot, and you can already deposit, you can stake, you can withdraw all the capabilities and functions are already enabled. We already have the first deposits coming in. So if you have some Polkadot, consider moving them over to Bake. And maybe if you don't have them, consider buying it and staking it. We were having a lot of, currently almost 10% that you get APY on that. So pretty interesting. We had a lot of polls and a lot of questions on Twitter, on Telegram, and so on, where we reached out and where we asked, what kind of coins do you want to have? And I know another coin did slightly better or got a little bit more votes than Polkadot. So please don't be disappointed. It's not, we are going to bring that other coin as well, probably. But we started with Polkadot. We might have some other coins that we are looking at in Q3 to bring as well. But yeah, definitely check it out. If you already hold some, like, the biggest reason for me, and of course I'm speaking out of my own book, but just consider moving them over from, maybe you have some on Binance, maybe you have some on Coinbase. Like, that's, of course, I work for Bake, but just consider this. You rather want to hold this on a platform that's currently being sued by the SEC, and that has some allegation that trading against their own customers, or you want to have them on a platform where you actually can do a proof of reserves that the funds are there. And we never had a hack, we never had an issue. Everything is very transparent. So consider moving some over from another exchange. We're not US based. We are not in the eye of the regulator. So there's a lot of advantages that we currently have going for us. And it's just a great service. Every 12 hours, new rewards.
Great. Quick reminder, we also have our dollar cost averaging campaign going, where you can actually win a Tesla. At the moment, we're in the round of unlocking the AirPods. So just for dollar cost averaging at least $10, you collect a ticket that gives you the chance of winning. So if you haven't done so already, head over to bake.io. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can also either scan the QR code, or you just head over to bake.io and you participate there. Very exciting, very, very good momentum on there. So take a use of this as well. And last but not least, our sister company here, Birthday Research, is organizing Ort Summit, which is going to be a side event. to token 2049. So if you're in Singapore, in that, I think it's a third week of September 14th through 17th. So I think the Ord Summit is happening on, I think, on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken, on the 12th. Don't know the exact date now, but it's just the day before token 2049 in 5 weeks. Then get your ticket, especially today, 8/8. I think there's a special promotion going on today where you only pay $88, if I'm not totally mistaken on that. So I think today, very special promo day. So take advantage of that. If you're in Singapore, if you're interested in ordinals, interested in building on top of Bitcoin, very, very exciting. Yes. Do we have anything else? Otherwise, we covered everything that's happening in the space.
I think we covered everything. Just maybe as a small teaser, and also, so Julian and me, we talked a lot about the general markets, about the crypto markets, and the too long didn't read version of all of that is there's a lot of unknowns that could potentially happen. Maybe there is a recession, maybe there is no recession, maybe the market goes up, maybe the market goes down. We don't know. We like to talk about these things and evaluate certain possibilities, but at the end of the day, nobody knows. And I think Julian and me both agree on one thing. The best strategy, both on a mathematical standpoint and emotional standpoint, is to buy and hold DCA, keep your funds on a trusted platform, and keep your emotions out of the game. Don't try to trade this. Don't use leverage. Approach this with common sense. And in the end of the day, look, 80 to 90% of the people that are involved in trading and in leverage, they lose money. And we as a company, we want to win alongside with you as a customer. And the best way to do that, where you win and we win, is if we just keep continuing dollar cost averaging and building our position sizes. We have probably another 12 months, maybe another 18 months, if you can trust the historical performance. And we are going to see another cycle and another bull run. And this is also the direction that Cake as a company is taking. So we want to expand our offerings. We want to involve more coins and give you the possibility to dollar cost average and build a backend or a products that are really interesting to dollar cost average your way into. Maybe I just want to leave you guys with this. Thanks so much for tuning in.
That's a nice ending. Thank you so much, everyone. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, leave us a like, leave us a nice comment on Twitter as well, follow us, and then very much looking forward to see you next time. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Fabio. Appreciate it. See you soon. All the best. Stay healthy and